Okay.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. This is Catherine Barnes, and I'm so excited today because I have a special guest who I've been looking forward to talk to for a very long time. I'm looking at you, Lynn.
Oh,
Lynne Jassem. It's
hi,
you.
Catherine. Hello, everyone.
Thanks so
Pleasure to
much
be
for joining
here.
us. Yeah, no. So first of all, when I think Lynne Jassem, I think two things. I think solo shows and I think tap dance. So I think you're a dancer first, right?
Well, let me say this. I was, but
Okay.
I don't know if I am anymore. I mean, the written word and doing comedy in a solo show. I'm 75 now. So,
No, get out of town.
yeah, I would if I had enough money, but but I used to dance insanely through my shows and I danced with companies and all that. But now when COVID hit, I couldn't get into the studio. I couldn't get into the gym. My downstairs neighbor was ready to decapitate me. And then I had a hip replacement when everything opened. So I'm a little out of shape with the tap dancing. But I am tap dancing in the new show. I am, but not quite as extensively.
Okay, so this is remind me which number solo show you're on now. Is this number two or number three?
Of solo show, God knows, maybe it's four.
Four. Wow.
Well, I've been doing this since the 80s.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I would go to Germany. Germany loved me. I would go to Germany and I would teach tap dancing master classes and I would perform. And they were a wonderful audience. They loved jazz, like old time jazz. This is in the 80s.
Mhm.
And they would like cheer and cheer. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Okay, it's
That's the
my.
Germans cheering for you with their train whistles, I guess.
Yes, that was their method of cheering. Um, but it was so like eight bows, and then I found this white rag in the wings, so I just waved the white rag like I surrender. I can't take any. But they were wonderful. The if you see my new show, Being Richard Greene, you'll find out what ultimately happened in Dusseldorf.
Uh-oh. Okay. So when you were in Germany doing solo shows, was it like similar to the kind of thing that you're doing now, or was it like just tap dancing
Oh
or
no, it was a whole thing, just like now. It had the sound effects, it had the I don't think I did video back then or pictures. But I had sound effects. I had and I would have to figure out the sound effects. So like I did a thing called Rhythm Anonymous, and it was about a rhythm addict. And everywhere I went, I would hear a dum dum dum, dum. I'd hear sounds. The buses sounded. I walk on the street. I was in the train station, whatever it was. And finally, I get behind the door and I close the door. But then, of course, I'm an addict. So I open the door. And it was all timing. I would open the door and there was the sound again, and then I would close the door and open. And I got it. I don't know, I was able to do it. Now you could just say to your tech guy, hey, just put on the sound when I open the door. But there, the tech people, they did not understand the word I say. One place I performed at, the tech guy was sitting right here in the wings with the whole board and everything. And
Mhm.
I was supposed to say, when this piece of music comes on, or I say this word, put on the music. So I
Mhm.
say, word, nothing. I say, word, nothing. I look at him and I say, put the music on. And he finally did. I said, I'm not going to go to any other cities where the men have long beards and there's only 10 people in the audience. This is.
Wow, as a millennial, those are the only kinds of shows I get to do.
I know it's that's part of our lives, you know.
That's right. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So, okay, so 4 solo shows. So this first one was in Germany, and then what was the next one that you did?
Okay, so I did Rhythm Anonymous, then I did one called Billy about and it seems like I'm on this theme because Billy was about, this tomboyish girl and how she wanted to be a Boy Scout. And I did have a couple of people in that show. I would call it the Lynne Jassem show with a couple of other people.
Mhm.
And we did some interesting tap counterpoints,
Mhm.
which I know you would know because you're a musician, but um, it's like one person is dancing this, the other person is dancing that rhythm, and then every once in a while they go bing, and they come together, but they're overlays.
Mhm.
So, and that's, people really either they go, what the hell's going on, or they love it.
Mhm.
So, I did that show, but I didn't do that show anywhere. I did it in New York.
Mhm.
And then I had From Como to Homo, which I wrote in New York, and I had a great director there, Peter Michael Marino.
Mhm.
And he and I used to just sit there and laugh. You know, we had a common out. We were both silly. And I did that in New York, and then I came out here and I did it at the Fringe, and I did it in Delaware, and I did it in San Diego, and I
You
did it
did.
at Edinburgh.
Oh, you went to Edinburgh.
Yeah, and I did 26 shows, and it that was very thrilling. I'd never seen anything like that before. There were 3,600 shows.
Yeah. Sounds like
It
Edinburgh.
was Yeah, and if what my PR lady told me is if you're not in the center of town,
Mhm.
where the center theaters are, you're not going to get as much of an audience.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I think I was out by a lawn where they used to hang people. That that's where I went. But I made a bunch of friends, and it was fun.
Awesome. Very
Yeah,
cool. So from Como to Homo, and now you've got, wait, where does Tapping My Way to the Nut House fit in?
that came after Como to Homo.
Okay, so that's the next one. Okay, and
That's the next one. And that one, I wound up without a director. And
mm,
I just kind of directed myself. And Adela Barnes from LAWTF, she wanted me to be in her show. And she said, I can't believe you directed this yourself. And, I was like, unfortunately, it's true. My poor wife is a doctor. And she comes home at 8 o'clock with her eyes like, like that. And I'll go, just listen to this. I'm surprised we're still together. But she was I did get a really great director after a while. I got Valerie Hager,
mhm.
who was wonderful. I mean, she and I really connected. And then COVID. I
Mm.
did it twice at Whitefire. I did Tapping My Way. And then I worked with Valerie, and then COVID came, and I just started writing this new one.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Yeah,
this new one is kind of a COVID baby.
it is. And it was interesting because the writing came very simply to me.
Mhm.
Usually, it's like having surgery. You're like, what can I have spurts of writing, and you can't just go with the spurts. You have to do it every day all the time. But this one, I started off with like a 10-minute thing that I did for one of Jessica Johnson's, um what were they called, snacks.
Buns. Oh, or snacks. Yeah, she calls them
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
And I thought, this is really good, I like this thing. So I wrote the whole show. And then I found Wendy Hammers. I've been through them all. It's like my love life before I got married, you know? Um, but Wendy is really brilliant. She's a stand-up comic, and she's also had a one-woman show. And Fiona Goodwin, she was her director, and we've been working on this for a long time because I had a hip replacement, and then I had, my brother passed away,
Oh
and
yeah, I'm
I,
sorry.
thank you. I'm still not really 100% there. I
Of
still
course
can't
not.
believe. But so here I am.
So I have a question for you because I remember seeing you, this was in 2020, like, middle of the pandemic, no one's leaving the house. And I think it was an
Right.
LAWTF um, thing. Like there were a bunch of different artists on it and you were one of them. And you were telling the story
Yes.
of how you met your wife. And I loved it so much. And I wondered, is that going to be in this show?
Oh, thank you. Yes. That is in the Friday night country western lesbian dance in Oakland.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
thank you. Because I didn't feel that it went that well, because I hadn't memorized it, and it makes such a difference when you have it memorized. But I had just written it, and I thought, okay, I have to do it. But now I do have it
That's
memorized.
good. Yeah, no, I was enthralled with the story. I wasn't even thinking about whether you were memorized or not because I guess
Oh,
I as a straight woman, at least as far as I know, I've always thought like, "Ooh, I wish I were a lesbian because it would be easier." And then you told your story and I was like,
oh,
"Oh no, it's like just as bad,
no.
if not worse."
No, for 3 years. When you see the show, you'll see for 3 years I went to this, and I went to this verstunkener dance. And, I like cut my hair off, I got a suit, I did this, I did that. And they weren't interested in me, these women. you know, I think I wasn't butch enough for them. I
Oh,
think that I should, if I gained 100 pounds and I had a crew cut, hey, then I would be rocking and rolling. But no, unfortunately, I
but
did. Yeah,
oh,
I did
sorry, I
meet my
interrupted.
wife there. I did meet. I had to import somebody from England.
Well, but see, that was one of the things I really liked is, you were talking about going and you were talking about like none of the women, connecting with you, finding you funny. And then you talked about meeting your wife and you said, she laughed at my jokes.
I know, because somebody said to me, "Hey, you keep making them jokes, and you're never gonna get laid." And I was like, "I am not." You God. And then I told her a joke, and she was laughing. I went, "This is the woman for me." Besides, she's a doctor.
I remember that. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. So, well, then I have another question about that. Okay. Because I mean, you've seen my shows. Like, I have this weird, like, doctor thing going on, but
Yeah.
I keep thinking it's not a good idea for a musician or any kind of a performer to be married to someone in the medical profession. Cause what do we want? We want attention, right? Like you talk about your wife
24
coming
hours
home,
a
she's
day.
like, and you're like, hey, look at this. And I just think, I don't think that would work, but it appears to be working for you.
Well, now I'm laying on the couch like this when she comes home. Hello, who are you? Oh, you're the lady with the stethoscope. Come in. You know,
That
because
works.
with COVID, I mean, it's been insane for 2 years for her,
Yeah.
and but I'm trying to be more kind. I try not to, I only like once a week make her listen to my run through of the script.
Only once a week. That's pretty good. I think that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's not bad. But I am going to the studio. I go to a wonderful studio. It's Hollywood Dance Studios on Highland Avenue, and it reminds me of New York
Mm.
because it's the old big studios, big beautiful wooden floors, mirrors all around, lovely lady sitting at the desk, and I go there to just talk to her sometimes.
That's
And I
awesome.
have a whole thing about the studio in my new show that I worked in New York called Faciles or Phasals, as we used to call it. And it was, I mean, it had flamenco dancers, belly dancers, and tap dancers.
Mm.
And that's it. And while you were dancing, the boards would fall from the ceiling onto your head.
Mm.
Because the flamenco dancers were up there banging away. Sorry. And then they didn't have heat. They didn't have air conditioning. They had nothing. But it was cheap. So
Yeah.
we all went there. Those were the days. Then he closed a couple of years ago.
Mm. So
48th and 8th.
48th and 8th. Okay. All right. Well, it's closed, so I'm not going to write that down.
Yeah, it was the middle of like anything bad happening.
I love it. So the show is called Being Richard Greene.
Yeah,
And I know very little about it, except that you've got this great poster of like a little child who's like half girl and half boy, and there's
yeah.
like green background. And then I know there's this bit in there about you meeting your wife. So what else can you tell us about this show?
Well, I think it's interesting, and I think it's a good story to tell now
Mhm.
because it starts off when I'm 3 years old,
Okay.
and that's my first I see my first woman dressed up like a man.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, in Queens in 1949, this was not a usual sight. There was only this one person, and I saw her, and I was, yeah, that's for me. That's what I want. And my mother almost had a heart attack and died. And
Your mother, the former Rockette.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, she did not want her daughter to want to be a guy. I was supposed to be like Shirley Temple. So and it just progresses through there like almost decade by decade of all the experiences I have as somebody who feels like inside I'm a guy
Hmm.
and outside I'm a girl, and I was in show business as a kid.
That's right. That's what Como to Homo is about.
Right. And that's what that picture comes from, my composites when I was a kid. And so I had to go to auditions and try to be very curly. And then I would come home and I'd take my hair out of those pin, whatever those things were, and I'd put it up and I'd go out with the boys and
Hmm.
play some ball. You know what I'm saying? So, and it goes up to, when I meet Jules and a little bit further, a conclusion of my thoughts and whatnot. But it's very interesting because my neighbor, who I've become friendly with, she doesn't have a TV. She just listens to and these different things. And there was this woman on who was an expert on transgender,
Hmm.
and that's all she talked about.
Hmm.
And so Becky would come over. She was really helped me with my script, and she said, you really were you really wanted to be transgender." And I said, "Yeah, but in 1950 they would kill you rather than." It was it was dangerous.
Hmm.
And I have a little green screen number in the show that Kenny Johnson, who, this was miraculous what he did, where I wanted like these bullies to meet me out on the street, like 11-year-olds, and they encounter me and try to beat me up because I'm wearing a necktie and a chapeau, or as you may say, a hat.
God. Yeah.
Um, and, that was very traumatic. So a
Hmm.
lot of this is taken from my real life.
Wow. And I'm really interested in this story too, because as you just said, the conversation about gender has changed so much, even within my lifetime. And so I'm
Yeah.
kind of interested to know, how is it affecting you now? that, now there's there's non-binary and there's trans and, all these different things that weren't around. Like, how is that affecting you?
There are things you've never even heard of. And kind of that's my part of my finale. This list. It's like this long list of things that I've never heard of. And my neighbor was telling me there's a certain gender that when they're indoors, they're one way. And when they go outside, they're another. It has become so, I think, crazy, specific. And, but when I see women who, have transition and they're good looking and everything, there's a little piece of me that still feels like, yeah, baby. Yeah, but I'm 5 feet tall.
So when you say, yeah, baby, is that like, ooh, you like them? Or is that like, ooh,
Oh no, I mean I would like. There's still part of me
that wants to do
that
that?
wants to do that, but oh, hold on 1 second, cause my battery's low. I gotta
Okay.
get my plug. Okay,
All right.
sing something, Catherine. Sing.
Okay. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. That was bad. Sorry.
I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk. Okay.
Solid.
What was that you were singing?
I was singing that song from the 80s because I'm playing a St. Patrick's Day gig next week and I have to sing it while I'm playing the cajon, which I have over here. So
I love the cajon.
yeah.
Oh, I have always wanted to now we have trouble with the green screen, but oh well. Because to me it's like tap.
It is, yeah. There's a lot of similarities there.
I would trade you tap classes for cajon lessons.
I mean, I don't really feel qualified to give them because to me, cajon is like, I guess it's probably associated with flamenco and things like that. And
Yeah.
I just know how to sit on the box and hit it and make it sound nice. I don't know that I have
Oh,
training, but I mean, I could definitely teach you to sit on it and hit it and make it sound nice.
and if you have I mean, I would think if you have the certain rhythms going in your head, they could be translated onto the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is one of the problems I had in Germany is I come from this jazz tradition of tap dance.
Mm-hmm.
It was all the old black guys I worked with in New York and Gregory Hines and all of those people. And Nicholas Brothers, who I adored. Do you know them?
I don't.
You must look up the Nicholas Brothers because they, to me, are the greatest. The total body movement as well as tap and athleticism. And they're both about 4'11", or they were little guys. But see, there's hope for me still.
I was gonna say it sounds like they're good role models for you.
Yes, yes. But they would sing, "Shidoo bini dow bow, sadabadidoo da," like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how you would pick up your steps.
Oh, cool. So they would scat sing to you, and then you
They
dance that back to
scattered
them.
the step.
Huh.
Ba-da-doo, ba-doo, 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 ba-da-doo, like the shim sham, ba-doo, ba-doo. And the Germans, they no, they don't do that. They don't like that.
No, they want everything in numbers and counts, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Call it a hunch, I guess. It's interesting though, because when you were talking about them teaching you by scatting, that's really interesting because in North Indian classical drumming and tabla playing, you've probably heard they sing everything before they play it. And their thing is if you can't sing it, you're not going to be able to play it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like look up, probably the most famous one is Zakir Hussain. And before he plays, he goes, and he like says the whole thing and then he
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I think you should put some of that in your show.
You want me to scat?
Yeah, because it seems to me that when I tell people about the jazz tradition, I go boobity dow dow, then everybody goes like ah, they get crazy, and I'm not a scat singer by any means.
No, but
But yes.
no, you go ahead. I interrupted.
Oh no, I mean but I think people really love that, and they love take it from the mouth to the instrument is very exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think I tell my students, if you can say it, you can play it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mostly make them count, which they hate.
Oh yeah.
Well, but I think to me, if you don't grow up, like I'm sure the Nicholas brothers like grew up in that jazz tradition. So it's all
Yeah.
kind of a part of them. So they don't need numbers to help them orient because it's all in
Right.
here, right? Well,
Right.
my students, they don't grow up, playing drums and in music all the time. So I think we kind of need beat one to help them orient. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely, because I have always had a problem counting. And when I first started working with Brenda Buffalino, like in the 70s, she had a problem counting too.
Mhm.
And she would sing, and she sang everything. And then she knew, and I realized I have to learn how to count if I'm going to teach. So
Mhm.
one of the ways I made myself, I started working with Dave Brubeck's music, like Take Five,
Mhm.
so that it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And out of the traditional mold of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And it sort of got me a little bit more in touch with the numbers.
Mhm.
And I love Dave Brubeck, even though, nobody knows who he is
Oh,
anymore.
I know who he is, but that's because
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And my opening number in this show is going to be a Jerry Mulligan. Do you know him?
I don't.
Oh, he's a saxophone player.
Okay.
Maybe I have that wrong too, but um, I just got turned on to him, and I was looking for a piece to just open the show, and because of the royalties now, the public domain and the royalties, if it's streamed, they can sue you.
Yeah.
And I just got so tired. I went to like two different people to take pieces of music and change them around a little bit so I wouldn't, the copyright wouldn't be,
Hmm.
you know, and I got tired. So I just took this thing from him. I'm doing like 30 seconds.
Huh. It's interesting though, because I know if you do it live, I know the Whitefire has paid their ASCAP fees, so it shouldn't be an issue. I guess it's just the streaming that makes it a problem.
Yeah, the live is fine, but I wanted to stream it too because I have people all around, that I would like to see it. And I think I would like to do it about 5 to 10 times before.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard to do it all out for a preview. I mean, a premiere.
Right. Well, and that leads me to another question, which is like, what do you see? What are your plans for this show? Are you going to do it once? Are you going to take it to Fringe, or what are you thinking?
Well, I would like to take it to San Francisco because I lived there for and I got Best of Fringe when I did the Fringe in San Francisco, and I had full houses like for 5 nights in a row. They loved me. And I'd like to take it to New York because I lived there for a lot of years, and
Mhm.
I can get an audience there as well. Um, and then I think I would like to go to the beach and lay down. I used to surf, so I kind of would like to do a little surfing with waves about this high. And
It's like Gulf of Mexico.
yes, I would like to go to Mexico. And I have a friend that has a, van that you can sleep in and all that. So we might go for a month or something, which would be fun. But I'll see what happens with this because Nut House, I did 2 shows and it was a lot. It was a lot, emotionally, physically, every which way. And then it's just kind of sitting there, you know. I would like to pick it up again and do it, but now I got this one.
Right. Yeah, managing more than one show. I know what that's like. I definitely know
Oh,
what that's like.
really?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
are?
I'm on solo show number 2 now.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, and then I wrote a 2-person show, which I did in January. So I have a few shows
Oh,
on the
great.
shelf.
Great. I
Yeah,
would love to do a show with you where we could do challenges. Like you
pretty awesome.
drum something and then I do tap dance it um and then maybe we could scat, you know. I mean there's and I don't know what our relationship would be. That's what we would have to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. Well, I to me, like I look at you and I feel like you're the boss. Like I feel like I'm learning things from you. Like anytime we're in the group with Jessica and Johnson, like all the people go around and I'm like, okay, what's Lynne gonna say? What's Lynne gonna say?
Oh no. Oh no, I loved your stuff. I really did. I loved your songs and all of that. I thought was really great.
Thank you.
And you are a bona fide musician, so you know there's not that many in her group, if any.
There are a few, I think.
Are
I don't
there?
know. There's a couple. There's like, I don't know, Lisa Verlo comes to mind.
Oh, that's yeah, Lisa Verlo.
She writes songs. There's Charlie Carlotta. I think she also does that. I don't
Oh,
see her in group much, but she had a show at Hollywood Fringe that was like a cabaret thing, and I like that. I like the whole cabaret.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
very
there
nice.
are a few. There are a few for sure. I thought of another question. What, we both know that doing a solo show, it's like a really intense process, right? So
Oh my God.
if someone is watching this and they're about to start or they're doing their first one, like what advice would you give to somebody who's embarking on a solo show journey?
Oh my God. Well, I when I wrote like my first solo shows, I was like, yes, the world is not ready for me. You know, I was all gung ho and I'm gonna get them and all that. You know, I was a lot younger and very very enthusiastic, and I don't know. You know, I guess I didn't know. Now it's a lot of work. A lot of work. I mean, and you can see it as very pleasurable work, like the writing the script, you know, but you need to have a support system,
Mm,
which is what I do miss with Jessica's class is
mm,
the group. That was very important to me.
mhm.
And because I feel like I'm just going to walk out on the stage, and it's just been me and Wendy. And I'm going to walk out on the stage and like do a show, and I haven't even talked to people for 6 months. But you know, you have to get you if you want to do visuals, that's a whole skill unto itself.
Mhm.
And you have to find things related to your show, and that will be interesting to the public. You want to do music now. If you want to stream, you have to have it original music. Um, you got to be your publicist, your own. You get a publicist, but they're never going to work for you like you're going to work for yourself.
Right.
And so you spend a lot of time. I do every morning. I send out and send out and send out stuff,
Mm.
and at least 3 people have answered me. My old friends, you know. Hey, Lynn.
Where are
You're
you
doing
sending? Are you doing emails? Are you doing Facebook? Or where are you sending?
I go with the alphabet. I start with A, and I go through all my A's, and I have a nice. I think I might have sent you one,
If you
Catherine.
did, yeah.
Yeah, it has my picture, and I have one of those green screen things of me on a scooter
Yep.
going through my old neighborhood, and I go through the alphabet and I send them out to people.
Wow. And how long before the show do you start doing that?
I've been doing it.
Okay.
I think I'm up, but I can't remember where I'm up to. That's the problem. Am I up to O, L, M, and O,
Mhm.
or am I up to P or Q? I don't know. I
Do
don't know.
you even know anybody with P or Q in their last name?
Quintana?
Okay. All right. Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go.
There's a yeah, P is a popular one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I do have a publicist, Anita Lee, but you know, I don't know that that much has been happening. I had to postpone my show date because
Mhm,
of my brother,
mhm.
and I wanted to get Broadway New. Is it Broadway
Broadway
World?
World.
I had them for Nut House. I got two of the reviewers,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, very nice reviews. And Samantha from NoHo News is great.
She's great.
Yeah, but so far I have some guy I never heard of who has something on. I don't know. He's got a blog or something, but I think that's all I have right now.
Okay, and when is the show? Remind me.
The show is March 11th
March 11th. Okay.
at 8 o'clock at night, which is my bedtime. And it's at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks. And I want to like put together something with where people can park and where they can eat because there are two places that you pay $6 or something and you can park.
You can park.
They'll
Yeah.
park your car for you, which is nice to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, and if people want to find you on social media or on a website, where should people look for you?
Well, let's see. I've got comodohomo.com. I've got tap dancing my way to the nut house.com. And now I have, beingrichdgreene.com. But I'm not the best. I need to hire somebody to really do a good website for me because I just, follow Wix and it's pretty basic, but I have maybe like 10 minutes from each one of my shows on the Being Richard Greene website.
Okay,
So they
cool.
get an idea.
So beingrichdgreene.com, people can get kind of a sample of all the things you've done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, what I did, I don't know, maybe is I did separate websites for each show.
that's probably smart.
You think?
I think so. I think I have to differentiate on my website between my different shows. It's all just kind of a cluster right now.
Well, how about just like writing a synopsis of who you are and some of your experiences and then just putting, different things from different shows that show off your abilities and
I
I
could
don't
do
know.
that. Yeah. No, my website's like more of a blog. So it's kind of,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. That's
but
quite a plant you have behind you there,
oh, thank you. Thank you for liking my plant. Yeah, it's fake, but
I wondered if it was
oh,
fake.
it's totally fake. It's totally fake, but I love it. It makes me happy. So, and it's actually
Yes.
strapped to the bookcase, so it won't fall over. Yes, we are high tech here.
About as high as mine is.
You
At least I have my green screen.
do. That makes you pro. I need to get one of those. I don't have a
It's
green screen.
great to have it,
Yeah.
as you can see. But you have to get your computer charged up.
Yeah, no, that's part of it. And I think I remember that you're on Instagram, right? I think you like just followed me on Instagram. Is that right?
I am on Instagram. I am, as I said, kind of a techno peasant, so I'm not sure how to use a lot of. I use Twitter and I use Facebook. Facebook is my main one, and my neighbor wanted to put me on TikTok.
Yeah, you'd be good on TikTok.
Yeah, because she shows me all these things with dancing, and I said, "Come to the studio, and we'll do like it's a week,
Yeah.
just different clips."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, and have I talked your ear off?
My ears are still on, as you can see, and
Oh,
I'm really really excited about your show. I have to figure out. I'm probably going to watch it streaming because, as you know, I'm in San Diego. But
oh, that's right.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a part of me that wishes I could go up there to see it because
Come
I'm
up,
excited. You want me to come
come
up
up, Catherine, because it's so much better to see it,
in
live.
person?
I
Yeah.
have a friend coming from San Francisco. She's coming down to see it.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will look and see. I might be on spring break that week. It might make it easy to do. So
Oh,
I will either way I will see it, but I'm really, really excited about that. And I'm
thank
really
you.
excited that we got to talk today about so many different things. So I'm just going to say to everybody watching, please go to beingrichardgreene.com, check out Lynne Jassem, find her on Facebook and on Instagram at Lynne Jassem, and you're going to see some really cool dancing and some really, really funny comedy. Because I don't know if you figured it out from listening to this interview, but she's really funny. So
This show is very funny.
is it?
Yes, it's very funny. I mean, Nut House was not that funny. Although when people saw me, they would start laughing, and I would go, "Wait a minute! I just had a nervous breakdown."
I think a lot of people think that's funny because they don't know what it is because they haven't had one. They're like, "Oh,
That-
nervous breakdown!" And it's like,
Yeah. Oh, and I thought, oh well, let them laugh. Who cares? But this one is for laughter.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to laugh, go to the Whitefire Theater, March 11th, 8 p.m. Being Richard Greene. You
And
can
if
also.
you're a member of Whitefire, you get in for free.
Oh,
Yes.
how about that?
Yes, you get in as participant, and you don't have to pay.
Oh, that's fabulous. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
hey, Whitefire Theater, is it whitefiretheater.com? I always forget if it's .com or .org. I
It's
think it's .com.
whitefiretheater.com, yeah, and that's where
RE. Yes.
you can get the tickets as well.
Awesome. Cool. So, hey,
Yeah.
everybody go do that because I know it's going to be a heck of a show. If you can't be there in LA in person, you can stream it. And they have probably the best streaming capabilities of any theater that I'm aware of. So,
I'm hoping.
and it
I
went
hope
well
so.
for
I
me.
mean, Kenny is doing it. Kenny Johnson does
Oh, yeah.
it.
Kenny's
So,
the man.
yeah,
You won't have any problems there. So,
yeah.
so yeah, everybody check it out.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a
Yeah.
lot of fun talking with you. I've always wanted to chat with you, so here we are.
We finally got to do it. Yeah, no, thanks
Yeah.
for hanging out with me. And let's talk again soon and talk more about how we can
Marriage.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.